Hey gang, Scott Davenport here. Before I dive into today's video real quick, I have just launched a Patreon site. After quite a bit of deliberation, decided to put one up, and if you are interested in supporting my work, you enjoy the videos I've been putting out, I'd really appreciate you to hop on over there, visit, and hopefully you'll sign up. There's some extra stuff there for you as well, and I expect to be putting more exclusive content in Patreon. So link is below, and with that, let's get into today's video. It's another one of these desaturation type things. I showed a video like this a few weeks ago using a range mask and found myself doing a desaturation again to emphasize a particular color. So kind of almost the opposite of the last video I showed where I downplayed something. In this case, I guess I'm downplaying most of the scene, but amplifying one particular area of it. Looking at this photo, you can kind of guess what it is. It's, this nice little orange pebble here that just did a not really an abstract but a subject study. This is one of the beaches in San Diego, Torrey Pines. It's covered in most of the year in these little pebbles. I hit the backslash key really quick so you can see what I started with. This was very bland, very flat, a lot of blue in the scene. So the stones have kind of like a blue gray slate kind of feel to them. Of course, there's the ocean, there is the sky, which is blue, a lot of blue bouncing around all over this scene. And then afterward ended up with this. And let me just show a couple of the highlights here. So, basic panel didn't do anything with color. In fact, amplified. Went with the vibrance there. That's really to catch the various oranges and so forth. This is the stone that caught my attention because of these cool little striping. So I certainly want to draw the viewer here. Major work in HSL. So take a look what's going on here. I mean, this is almost selective coloring, where I'm desaturating everything except oranges and yellows. And then doing a little shift of pushing yellows a little more toward orange just to make this a little more bright and so forth. Same thing with luminance, just taking the non-hot colors, so our reds, our oranges, our yellows, letting those be at the normal brightness and then darkening everything else. This is kind of, a dodge and burn, well, I burn based on color tone. But this is the before and after on just that panel. So here's before, and here is after. And notice most of that is affecting outside of my subject, right? All of these stones here, like watching this area right here. Let's do that again. Before, and we'll see like a much bluer cast pop in. Notice like on this shinier, wetter rock down here, and then after. So it's really just letting the more natural color of the stone come through as opposed to the reflection of the blue sky. The next step was doing something similar, but using the radial masks. So go into the radial masks, and you'll see I have a collection of several of them. And actually, if it weren't for the video, I'd have them all on top of each other, but I need to select them individually so you can see what's going on. Let me pick this one and hover here. So this is affecting everything outside of my subject. Standard vignette type of action, right? The exposure has been reduced by 0.3, and so everything outside of that radial here. So if I hover away, all of this area is just getting darkened. The next one, I'll hover on that one. Same idea affecting the outside. This is more subject enhancement. So I'm taking clarity down and texture down, negative direction. And so it's softening all of this outside here. Let me return those to 0 just for a second here. So you can see how this is much crisper, right? Like this stone here, we can see all of that, it's freckles and pocks and so forth. This has got more contrast and shine. Let me undo those two changes. 1, 2. And this now just softens everything, but I'm not making that change here. So my subject rock is staying crisp. And the last one is where we're dealing with more of the color. So here I did use a luminance range mask. Let me put the mask on so it'll stay there. You can see I've got a luminance range mask here and just removing it from the shadows so the outer edges and these deep shadows in here aren't getting too much of the impact. Popping clarity, saturation, that's what's bringing up those oranges there, and so really making this rock jump out. And that's fundamentally it. I think the last thing I'm going to do is clean up this little whatever this is here, and just get that to disappear with a retouch. but doing some selective coloring, but just doing it right here in Lightroom. I didn't need to do like a technique where you do masking and convert something to black and white and so forth. For this scene, I'm just leveraging the masking tools. So similar to the range mask video I did, I guess maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. I was downplaying color in a certain area. This one, it's a little more about upplaying color, but there's certainly a lot of downplay initially globally with that HSL panel. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon, and until next time, happy shooting.